Now you didn't know who Young Gotti was.
I don't know these guys. I heard the name.
Okay.
Them. I don't know them.
Yo Gotti's brother, Big Jook, killed in shooting outside a Memphis restaurant. Police confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Young Gotti, what's the best way to say this? You don't know who Young Gotti is. So he's a rapper. You don't know who Young Dolph is. He's a rapper. You know who Glorilla is. The girl. The lady. You know who she is.
They're all together?
Well, Young Gotti has, he's a record executive. And he has all of these artists under him. He's a rapper himself. He's from Memphis, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he started off as just a rapper. Rapping and coming up the way of rapping. Mm-hmm. And he kind of, his mentor is like Jay-Z. So he kind of looks at Jay-Z as a mentor.
Okay.
Like, I want to start off rapping, and then I want to start branching off into other things and making money, become a billionaire.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, he's dating Angela Russell.
Run, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's an
Reverend
actor?
Run, yeah.
The one that's an actress?
Is she an actress? No, I think
one of them acts and one of them...
I don't think Angela acts. I think you think of the other one. The older one?
Yeah.
No, this is the younger one.
Oh, he's with the younger one.
He's with the younger one. The one that was doing it with Bow Wow and all of that? Yeah, on that reality show. Okay, so Young Gotti he's a street dude. He's a street dude. He came up from the streets.
Yeah, bad boy.
Well, yeah, bad boy, trying to turn good. And he's had a beef with Young Dolph, the one who was, I don't know if you remember a rapper in Memphis that was gunned down. They came up to him and gunned him down. He was famous. Mm-hmm. They all from Memphis. Mm-hmm. And Young Gotti and Young Dolph at one time were friends. And and Gotti wanted to sign Dolph under his record label. Mm-hmm. And Dolph said no. He wanted to do it on his own. He didn't want to be signed under a rapper, which makes sense because a lot of times if you sign under a rapper, they put their career above everybody else because they still rapping. And at that time, Gotti was still rapping. Okay. So Dolph was like, nah, I do it myself. I'm good. And he did. He started becoming his own, famous on his own. Okay. So then apparently there was a beef between them because Dolph felt like Gotti was mad that he was making it and even without him. So they started beefing with each other, throwing little subliminal messages and songs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Well, you already know how this going to end. You know the same thing with Tupac and Biggie. Mm-hmm. As soon as you start, the people on the outside start, the fans and the guys in the street.
The fans make it worse.
They make it worse. They take it off of the record and bring it into real life.
Right.
So then in real life, the two sides start beefing against each other. The people that was rolling with Dolph and the people that was rolling with Young Gotti, okay? So I'm not going to go through a whole giant story because it's a whole line, a whole history of this. Mm-hmm. Just back and forth, back and forth. Well, his brother, the big guy that you see standing there, that's Gotti's brother. He was dissing Dolph on Instagram and Twitter and all of that, saying that, almost saying stuff like he deserved to die or stuff like that. And his fans didn't like that. They don't like that. And the dudes in the street. A lot of these guys have money, but they haven't left the street.
Because I was getting ready to ask you, not all of them, because I don't want to do a whole general statement on rap artists like a lot of them that are out here, but are the ones that have been in the hood, in the streets, where they're gang affiliated, whether they're in it, whether they know people.
A lot of them still are.
I'm thinking, think about this. If you were to go out now to the gangs in your area and offer them a record deal,
they'll take it.
They'll take it, but they'll still be gang bangers.
They'll still have that same mentality.
So if you say something in your songs, your lyrics, or while you on TV on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and they'll go, "Hey, dude, the opposite gang. Hey, man, what he say about us?"
Right.
It's almost like the gang activity is still going on, even though they're all in the music.
And the problem that they have is the same thing that Young Thug has. Is now you have more money and more opportunity.
Yeah.
So if you don't think the feds are not watching you, you're a fool.
Yeah.
They don't want, number one, they don't like you anyway. And now you got more money and you got more opportunity. Mm-hmm. So I think Jay-Z, because I still think Jay-Z connected. But he kind of probably told Gotti, you can't move the same way.
Yeah.
You can't be on there tit for tat and talking and all this.
Right.
And Gotti even said in an interview, I don't move like that. I'm not moving like Dolph. Because Gotti was more famous and rich than Dolph. So he's like, dude, I'm not moving like that. The way you moving, all dissing me on shows. And when I move, it ain't going to be like that. Trust me. And I feel like that's because remember when Kanye went off and said Jay-Z got shooters. Kanye crazy, but he not that crazy.
Okay.
He like Jay-Z, don't get rid of me.
Get it twisted.
Because I'm talking about you. Don't get rid of me. I know Jay-Z got shooters. Kanye know Jay-Z. But Jay-Z don't move the way you think he moved no more. He don't move like a street dude no more. He move like Diddy. Somebody that got some money. So the same way Diddy was moving. But it all comes.
It comes back.
It comes back. So
you can move that way.
It was making it seem like Gotti wasn't beefing with Dolph. Dolph kind of beefing with Gotti. But behind the scenes, they were saying that Dolph's brother, this is allegedly, hired the hit on Dolph. They paid somebody to take out Dolph. Wow. And Dolph died. And so now he's on Instagram talking about how, dissing him. And the dudes in the hood don't like all of that.
Right. He's telling on himself.
So Gotti's uncle passed away.
Yeah.
And they went to his funeral in Memphis. Because, they come back to go to these funerals. They don't live there. So they came back to go to his uncle's funeral. His mom was there. Gotti's mom, Angela Simmons. I said Russell. Simmons. Angela Simmons, Russell's daughter.
You mean Run's?
Run's daughter.
Run's daughter.
And his brother, the big guy right there.
Right.
So they go up, they pay their respect. Gotti has to leave with Angela to catch a plane. So he's not able to go to the repast. His brother and his mom get in the car to go to the repast. That's when the guys come out and shoot. His mom, Gotti's mom, had to jump out of the car and run. They would shoot. They didn't care that she was in the car. So the big question is, what is Gotti going to do? Now, all the rappers are coming out saying, please don't retaliate. Because when Dolph passed away or got hit on him, it was like 20 or 30 guys in the street died that same weekend from retaliation. See. The guy who shot Dolph, somebody shot his and killed his daughter and other people. So they saying, please don't make this a bloodbath in Memphis because of what happened to Gotti's brother, and his mom had to get out the car and run. So I don't know. Is Gotti still attached to that life, or is he going to move past it?
Here's the thing, too. You have to be careful when you say you're not attached, because you have to, I don't know how you can even, you got to break that stronghold, and that's a stronghold. Whether you even physically be with them anymore, you are associated with them. You're still tied in there. I don't know how he's going to get out of this one, and if he won't retaliate. I tell you one thing, if his mom was injured, he will retaliate. If my mom has to jump out the car because of some, and like our old pastor would say, money magnifies you. You are what you are. With money, you're worse. They're all gangbangers.
And Gotti has the money to not even get his hands dirty, but he can make things happen.
He can make you go away with nobody knowing it. I don't know, Kim. I just get nervous when I hear these stories.
So that's why they praying.
Because I think about Tupac and I think about Biggie. Oh.
So that's why the rappers and everybody in the hip hop industry is saying, please pray.
Lay low.
Yeah. Because they see that there might be another bloodbath on both sides where a lot of young guys and young girls might lose their lives over this. So we praying. And that's the other thing. Angela.
She in the middle.
I know your dad. Now, you know Reverend Ron. My daughter was at a funeral, and had she stayed, she would have been in that car going to the repast. My daughter, that's the same thing I told you with Chloe.
Yeah.
When she was with Gunner.
Yeah.
Gunner was talking to Kodak outside. He said, all right, man, I'll see you later. He opened the car door and Chloe was in the car. Gunner did.
Yeah.
And he got in the car. As soon as he closed the door, a gunman came up and shot Kodak. A few seconds.
Do you think
so? You don't think Chloe's people was like,
you better detect. But do you think, going back to the her sister, do you think that DDG is connected?
No, DDG
not connected at all. Okay, that's probably what's scaring people.
He's a YouTuber.
Oh, they are like anybody connected with.
This
reminds me of mafia. Don't this remind you of the mafia?
Yes, the problem
the
that
families
DDG,
against each other.
The problem DDG has is he's friends with Blueface.
Yes,
and Blueface is connected.
Yes,
that's the problem DDG has.
That's what I'm saying.
But he hasn't been hanging with him. But they did all go out bowling. Mm-hmm. Him and Krishan and DDG and Hal.
Yes.
And if somebody would have been after Blueface, Little Mermaid would have got in the middle of it.
Yes. And God forbid if she had the baby at the time was carrying the baby.
So all of this stuff, and y'all got too much money.
But that don't mean anything.
I know.
Money just magnifies who you are. If you are still part of the gangsterhood, rivalries, and then it may be worse because you're going and blinging it. Hey, I could cover all of y'all. We got the drinks tonight. Hey.
Yeah.
But help them.
So that'll be what we'll pray over. We'll pray for that whole situation.
But it reminds me of the mafia.
The mafia.
It's really no difference.
So that's what we'll be.
Russian mafia, Italian mafia, all of these mobs that's going after each other, and you got my family, I got yours. Boom, boom, boom. Ooh.
But that's his brother, this big guy right here.
Jesus.
He got taken down. All right, here we go.